Oh, it's recording? Oh, okay. What's up, YouTube? Okay, let's redo that. 3, 2, 1. What's up, YouTube? It's Vincent back with another video. And today, we will be reacting to why KSI v Jake Paul would not be close. And before we get to the video, however, there's 3 things y'all need to do. 1, hit that subscribe button. 2, leave a like. And 3, comment down below what video y'all want me to react to next, or what kind of video y'all want me to do. And if you don't want to comment it down below, you know, maybe because if you're shy or, you know, some other reason, that's okay, because y'all can reach out to me through my socials, which will be somewhere here. And while y'all visit my socials, you know, might as well follow them. But without further ado, let's get started to the video. Alright, let's go, baby.
KSI and Jake Paul are rumored to have a super fight in Wembley next year. Now this would be a huge fight, and it has people thinking hard about who would win. However, it's clear that if these two were to fight, it might not even be that competitive. In fact, it may not be close at all. We have many aspects to look at before we can justify this, but at the end of this video, you watching would also agree with me. This is exactly why Jake Paul is levels above KSI.
Yep.
And if they fought,
I anticipated this, especially with the Anderson Silva fight. Like, people are like, oh, you know, he's 47. Y'all don't understand. This is freaking Anderson Silva we're talking about. He may be 47, and of course, age does play a factor. He's not the same Anderson Silva that he was. But y'all have to remember, the Anderson Silva that was in the UFC was greatest of all time type stature. Anderson Silva now is just a bit below, but a bit below is still good enough to beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., who was a champion at one point and went all 12 rounds with Canelo Alvarez. So Anderson Silva may not have the same reflexes, same punching power, same punching speed, and same cardio that he once had, but he's still a freaking beast. And the fact that Jake, you know, beat him and even knocked him down, although I feel like the knockdown was more on Anderson losing his footwork. I can't hate. I'm not a hater. And as much as I am a KSI fan, man, you got to give Jake props. But yeah, after the Woodley fight, I felt like KSI could still exploit some gaps here and there. But then after seeing the Anderson Silva fight, I'm like, man, KSI is going to have lots of fights. Not just one fight in January before the Jake fight. He's going to have 2 fights, maybe even 3. But yeah, if they do fight in 2023, I expect him to be a massive underdog. If anything, maybe we're going to have to wait till 2024. Because, yeah, experience matters. And just Jake's just been doing this for a whole longer time right now. I'll still be supporting my boy KSI, of course.
Jake Paul, 6'1", 76-inch reach, 6'.
Oh, come on. Jake is not 6'1". Okay, I feel he's a bit taller than KSI. So I'd say he's about 5'11", either the same height or just slightly taller than KSI. So Jake's about 5'11" to 6 feet.
KO ratio, which is pretty impressive. When you're fighting the local postman, that's a different story, but we'll get onto that.
KSI is 4-0. Oh, is this including the amateur fights? If that's the case, then Jake should be 7-0.
4-0 and 1. 2 KOs, 1 TKO, and 2 decisions. 40% KO percentage. Again, knowing his opponents, not too impressive. So the height advantage is with Jake Paul, but with a 1 to
barely
difference, it won't be insane.
I mean, if he's 6'1", he should be barely shorter than Logan. But if you look at photos, here's an example. He looks about 2, maybe even 3 inches shorter than Logan. So yeah, Jake's basically 5'11" to 6 feet.
Jake Paul's KO percentage is higher because of that lethal right hand. Now we have to talk about the level of opponents of both. So next, level of competition. Jake Paul has fought Comedy Shorts Gamer, Annie Sunkir, Nate Robinson, and
this competition is nothing. It's nothing compared to Swamp, man. I mean Swarms. Swarms is the man, the myth, the legend. So I don't know what he's on about. And of course Pineda. How can we forget about Pineda? Oh, I'm ready. That was him in the press conference. That press conference was hilarious. But anyways, let's continue.
On paper, should have beat Jake and then Tyron Woodley twice. and most recently fought Anderson Silva, which he had a very good performance to. Now I'm going to just ignore Gib, Deji and Ben Askren and Nate Robinson in terms of real competition in boxing. What we can look at as impressive is Tyron Wood. Although he was retired, he was still dangerous. Now their first fight was slow to say the least. Jake was still challenged in terms of pressure. Jake landed and won. Now we'll go more into the technicals of the boxing later and how it compares to KSI, but Jake, especially in the first round, was great at feigning and effectively got in. The second fight, well, we all know how that went. Again, we'll dissect the boxing ability, but for a YouTuber, Jake knocking out Woodley is impressive. KSI
It's insane.
Weller, which was the TKO win. Logan twice won a draw, and the second one he won by split decision. He made his return fighting Swarms and Luis Pineda. Already, you can see who has a slightly better experience. The hardest challenge KSI has had is Logan Paul, and credit needs to be given where it's due. KSI was able to combat the reach and height of Logan Paul, constantly applying pressure in the second fight and hitting a wild overhand. In the first fight, he definitely ate a lot of shots, but that shows his jaw is pretty good. So we can already start to see why Jake Paul has this slight advantage. Although KSI technically has fought a pro boxer, can we really call him a pro boxer? Because if he's a pro, then Swarms should be champ. That's the most important.
That's the thing. I feel people are loosely throwing out the term pro nowadays. But then look at Pineda. Technically, he's a pro boxer. He's had like what, 9 fights, but he's fucking worse than Ben Askren, who came into the fight shaped like a fat lard, bruh.
I want you to watch this right hand from KSI. KSI instantly drops the left when going in for a telegraph right. Okay, you could say he wasn't full guard because he's fighting Swarm, but even when he was fully locked in with Pineda initially, the overhand still led to his left dropping. Now what's an important tool for Jake Paul as well? The right hand. Now although the guard isn't there are two major differences. One, he weaves as Nate Robinson throws, and two, it's much quicker. KSI's overhand feels very long to the point you could take a nap and wake up by the time that right hand is back in his defense. Jake's is quick and snappy, and with KSI dropping this left hand, it would be a
yeah, I've got to say, KSI's right hands are pretty telegraphed.
Out of the way of KSI's right. Jake would see this punch coming due to the drop in the left and him charging up that right. He would be able to hit his snappy right in the unprotected area. KSI is left on the left side of the face. During this, a quick weave would mean Jake goes right under KSI's right, and Jake is already winning. I mean, that would be quite a good idea. And with Jake constantly getting faster, as seen in his recent training for Anderson Silva, it would make the overhand right way more dangerous. So there we've covered speed and head movement. Let's look at guard. Jake has a low guard, and this has been a problem for him before with Woodley. We see when Jake drops the left hand, Woodley came over and hurt him with the right. However, his quick jab means his low guard is not normally exploited, as he's bringing back his guard when needed. KSI tries to maintain a high guard, but it gradually drops over time as the fight goes on. I'm guessing he's improved this as he's increased his cardio, but as he gets relaxed, even when not tired, he drops it, feeling safe. This is again where Jake can utilize his speed to get his combination in, especially with Jake's good feigning and with KSI reacting.
But the thing I'll give KSI the benefit of the doubt is that he has better footwork. Like, look at Jake here. Look at his feet here. Wait. Here. Like, his feet are all over the place. If there's one thing KSI has an advantage, like, I wouldn't even say cardio is an advantage for KSI even more. I mean, we've never seen him go 8 rounds, where Jake went 8 rounds and you know, did pretty good cardio-wise against Anderson Silva. But then, yeah, I feel like the things that he's mentioned thus far are it's just more an experience, man. Like, for example, keeping your hands up. Like, you learn that and you get used to that as you continue to train long, as you continue to box and fight opponents. And I'm not saying Jake is this, you know, master at it, but then he's been doing it longer than KSI to the point where he's used to it. And yeah, it's just experience, man.
With feigning and with KSI reacting to everything, Jake could feign or double jab his way through KSI's defense as KSI drops a guard. We actually see this in action when Jake slept Tyron Woodley. A feint to the body meant Woodley dropped the left, protecting his head, and Jake hit that right hook. With KSI naturally having a low guard, Jake could hit a right hook, and matched with that speed, he could get it in before KSI can raise his guard again. Or Jake could feign, as is one of his strengths, meaning KSI further drops guard, possibly to block, leading to a devastating knockout. It could become very dangerous with KSI leaving his mouth open as he usually does, opening him up the risk.
Yeah, that's a big issue as well.
Finally, KSI's arsenal of punches is, from what we've seen, very small. I'm not saying he's not got a good roster or variety, but we haven't seen much apart from overhands and a jab right hook combination. With Jake hitting a lot more combinations and being able to drop people's guard by doing so, we can go for an exposed area. So we've talked about a lot. KSI is a wild, aggressive fighter who likes to hit that overhand right. The problem will come when he telegraphs these punches, and Jake can weave under these, using his speed and power to land on KSI. The combos Jake can throw become more dangerous when KSI drops his guard, and combined with Jake's speed, the powerful right hands can be successfully landed as Jake feigns his way in, and with KSI reacting heavily to these feints. By feigning to a point where KSI's guard is dropped and Jake hits a right, by which he could follow up applying pressure and continue to exploit his skills, experience and knowledge. KSI won't be able to hit that overhand right, his most important weapon. As soon as Jake sees him preparing to hit this by dropping the left and charging up that right, he'll simply hit a quick right to the jaw, weave right under the danger, leaving KSI faced away and throwing a punch that had so much power behind it. Right, that's enough. Jake will continue to use his tricks to a point where KSI loses. My prediction for the fight, I think it's obvious. Jake wins, not by KO, but on a split/unanimous decision. KSI fan, and don't really know, and I'll see you in the next one.
So that's the video. Unfortunately, I agree, man. I feel the only way, I mean, I don't know, like, if I'm being super unbiased, I'm trying to find, like, a way KSI could win. But then, it's not like while KSI improves, you know, it's not like Jake's just gonna stay stagnant or he's gonna decline. Of course not. So, it's gonna be a never-ending, battle on the hill unless Jake just stops, which I don't think he'll be stopping anytime soon. I don't know, I feel the best possible chance of KSI winning is through landing that overhand right. But then even that, I don't know. I mean, he took Tyron Woodley's biggest shot, and Tyron Woodley's power is no joke. So Jake's definitely got a chin. So I don't know, man, for sure. So it's unfortunate. Obviously this fight has so much what do you call this, drama. It has so much it's just a big storyline. This fight has been what do you call this, people have been wanting to see this fight since 2018. Regardless of Jake being levels above KSI, I feel it's still gonna be a big fight. Yeah, I'm actually also really interested to see if that fight happens, how KSI would take the loss. I mean, KSI, whether you like to admit it or not, he's got a big ego. But then yeah, man, that's the unfortunate truth, and that's the video. It's been your boy Vincent, and I'm out. Peace.